Hey folks, my name is Jason, and this is my introduction to this channel, and I'm going to tell you about two things. Who am I? What's my background? Why I'm starting this channel, and really my why about kind of getting involved with Ski Patrol. And you'll see that through it. But so my name is Jason. I live in Columbus, Ohio. For reference, it's September 2023, and I'm 50 years old. I was born in Columbus, Ohio. Learned to ski at a small hill called Snow Trails up near just north of Columbus. And after high school in Columbus here, I went into the military. Okay, I chose to go into the United States Navy. I was what's called a corpsman, which is a military medic. And I had multiple duty stations and additional training, but I won't go into that. You guys can research that. But I was an aviation corpsman attached to a helicopter squadron out of Virginia. Part of military medic training, right, is I got my basic EMT. I also, in the military, medics also have what we call an expanded scope of practice. So I would see patients in what we would call sick call, just kind of, seeing, coughs, colds, aches, pains. I could actually, prescribe medication, limited medication, with, oversight from my flight surgeon or my physician. And I could also do things like suture, some advanced airway stuff and stuff like that. So the natural progression for me while I was in the military is I went to I went to paramedic school and at a local community college in Virginia, and continued my progression on that EMS track. Spent 5 years in the military, got out and spent roughly 15 years, or 10 of which as a firefighter and a paramedic throughout the United States. And I really enjoyed teaching. I taught a lot. I taught BLS, ACLS, PALS, EMT courses. I enjoyed teaching, and then I got into teaching fire science stuff, right? Firefighting, and also the rescue disciplines. Like I said, all this was in the South, and mostly in the Carolinas, and had an opportunity to move out west. And as a rescue training specialist, spent 4 years in Colorado, covered the mountain states, teaching most technical rescue, mostly vehicle extrication, but also trench collapse, building collapse, some rope rescue, so that was kind of that time. In 2012, I had an opportunity to come back to Ohio. I did the same job, but in a little different fashion, working with government accounts, military accounts, for about a year. And you may wonder where I am right now. In 2013, I decided to leave that. I enjoyed teaching tremendously. It was a lot of travel, though. And so I kind of chose to put that onto the back burner and opened a CrossFit gym. I had been coaching CrossFit for about 2 years prior to that. And in 2013, I opened a CrossFit gym, and the rest is history. It's been 10 years of that. Ebbs and flows. I don't need to explain to you what's happened over the last 10 years, but it's been a great experience for me, and I'm continuing to do it. But I've built the business to a point where I have a general manager, I have coaches, and so I don't need to be in the business 100% of the time anymore. So that's kind of the history and background of me. And it allowed me to look at what I wanted to do. And one of the things, when I lived in the Mountain West, I really enjoyed skiing, right? 30 to 40 days a year. I think the first I've ever skied is like October 20th at A Basin. And it's just a great experience when you're skiing from October through April. And I always enjoyed, obviously helping people and teaching the rescue and EMS side of it. And so I thought that it was a natural fit. At the time, I didn't think there was an opportunity to get into the patrol at that time. But as I kind of spent time in Ohio here, I realized that there may be an opportunity. So, that's kind of my background. and which is a different background than a lot of people that come into the patrol, I think. But obviously, it's worth noting because my experiences may be or will be different than yours. And I'll explain this. The reason I'm starting this channel is I started looking for something like, stuff on YouTube, Reddit, Facebook, whatever it might be about what's the process. Every patrol's different, right? There's over 500 National Ski Patrol patrols around the country, and everyone's a little bit different. The statistics are very similar to the fire service in that 85% of patrols are volunteer, or 85% of patrollers are volunteer patrollers. But unlike the fire service and emergency services, where you can find tons of information out there, there's not a lot of information about the pathways and how to go about it, and what to expect. Each individual patrol may have some information, but there was just nothing out there. What to expect at your patrol, which are, again, it's patrol specific. What gear you should have. Is there a medical pack? Should I get a fanny pack or a backpack or stuff all my stuff in my vest? All those things were questions I had, and there really wasn't any resources out there. I've been doing social media stuff for the gym from a marketing standpoint, sales standpoint for 10 years now, and so I said, hey, let's get out the iPhone and let's start create this channel. The last thing I'll talk about is my why, right? If you're going to get into patrol and you're watching this video, you're going to, you have to have a good why. And I'll talk about that in the next episode, a little bit more. But, looking at my patrol and looking at what I've done research on other patrols, not only in the Midwest, but obviously North Central region, the far West, the Mountain West and stuff like that, it's all over the place. And, you get professional patrollers come into the, maybe at a younger age, and do a bunch of training, and then maybe go on with their life, and maybe as they transition, they may not come back into the patrol. A lot of people at my patrol and patrols in the Midwest seem to be a little bit older. Like I said, I'm 50, it's 2023, but I'm seem to be a little bit young in the average age of the patrol, kind of thing. So because of the time commitments, it might not be for somebody that's trying to establish a career, establish a family in their mid-20s or 30s because of those time commitments, and travel and all those factors that may happen. So that, my why is, hey, I've always enjoyed helping people. Even when we go back to my time in high school, I did, I played athletics, but I also was very interested in athletic training. And just to give you an idea, I also I own a CrossFit gym. I run a ruck club. I also run a master's lacrosse team. So I'm pretty active in a lot of things in the community. As a veteran, I'm also involved with veteran support organizations. So these are all things about me and kind of lay the groundwork for this channel. I'm also a short form guy. I'm not a 2 hour, 3 hour long podcast guy, because I don't have that time and attention span. So most of these videos are going to be 10 minutes or less in length. Maybe as we start to grow, maybe we'll go into 20 minutes, maybe even a 30-minute podcast or something like that. But that's the information. I just wanted to share it with you, give you a little introduction to myself. Again, Jason, Columbus, Ohio, 50 years old, and starting this patrol life journey, and I hope you'll experience it with me. Have a great day.